Bit all sorry I look like this. I wasn't going to make a video today, but I really want to talk about what I'm about to talk about. The LG V40 ThinQ has to be, to me, the most important phone of 2018. And I know most of you, 95% of you, are probably down in the comments telling me how wrong I am and how LG shouldn't even exist. And even though I might be a little bit biased towards LG, there are a few things I want to mention today that are factual and do have meaning and could make the world of difference. So hey guys, my name is Ron Thomas with Failtech, and this is why the LG V40 ThinQ, in my opinion, apart from having a bad name, is one of the most important, if not the most important phone of 2018. Now of course, LG has had a bad reputation in the past of phones breaking, overheating, boot looping. I made a whole bunch of videos on this, and it is a known issue, a big issue. But since the G6, there haven't been any real notable issues that we had with the G4, and I feel like their name has been tarnished, but they haven't brought that back yet. And I really hope that the V40 has a really prosperous future, because I love LG phones. You've all seen the videos by now, so you know what the specs are and you know basic reviews, but those really aren't the important bits. Yes, they're kind of important, but they're the same as pretty much every other flagship this year. A lot of people have been comparing the V40 to the lower end phones such as the G7, the S9 and the OnePlus 6, and I think that's the wrong demographic. I know a lot of people really think that it's a low-end phone because it's LG and they have that stigma about them, but you should really be comparing this to the likes of the Note 9 and the iPhone 10, because those are really the higher end phones, like the more expensive ones, the more premium features, and I feel like it'd be unfair to compare it to the G7, even though technically they are related. But the main focus are the outlets talking about the 5 cameras, and that is pretty impressive, but it's also quite gimmicky. The front 2 cameras are the wide and the standard, which you've seen and you know about by now. And those are cool, they're not necessarily very useful, they're quite impressive, but LG's done this before with their previous V phones, maybe not the latest couple, but definitely in the past they have used these dual front cameras with 2 different focal lengths. But jumping over to the back, this is, in my opinion, the most important bit. I have 3 reasons to really want to buy this phone, and it's ridiculous. You have no idea how long I've been asking for manufacturers to have 3 different focal lengths as opposed to 3 pointless sensors. And oftentimes the second or third sensor and lens are pretty pointless because, as we've seen by Pixel, a lot of those portrait selfies and portrait mode shots can be done with a single camera. But as an amateur photographer and cinematographer, I love the fact that we've got 3 different focal lengths. The wide is hugely underappreciated, and I love how LG has brought it to the mainstream because Motorola are using it now, and that's just another great manufacturer to add to the list. Telephoto is good and it does have its perks. It's definitely good for portrait mode because you kind of want more of a tele look as opposed to just a standard look or a wide look, because that bokeh is going to look just a little bit more realistic, and I like that about it. But in a lot of cases I never use the telephoto lens, and in a lot of cases the telephoto lens isn't even as good as the primary lens. My iPhone 10 for example doesn't really use that second telephoto lens. It just crops in with the standard lens and then digitally corrects for itself, and you can test this out by covering up the lens on your own phone. And talking of portrait mode, stay tuned for the review of this guy because I will be talking about that more in depth. But there's something different about these lenses. Backing up and taking a photo is not the same as changing to a different lens. There's actually slight perspective changes that you'll be able to know if you're a photographer, and you will notice them in person, you just need to see them side by side. But right, how does this affect me? I don't like LG phones. Why would I even go and buy this thing? Well, a lot of LG's core concepts and technologies trickle down into other smartphones, and it would be really cool to see this trend be taken on by the likes of Samsung, Apple maybe one day, Huawei, Xiaomi, all those companies. And you know why? Because LG's got such a big press behind them just because of these 5 cameras. That's what everyone is talking about right now, the 5 cameras, the ridiculous cameras. What if Samsung did it or Xiaomi did it? Do you know how much attention they would get as well? It's really beneficial for the companies, and we might finally get into these companies' heads and get past those gimmicks. You know, these terrible, a lot of the modern phones will have 5 megapixel depth mapping sensors that are literally not used. Some of them are just bits of glass that aren't even plugged in. Hopefully we can get into that and get something that's really functional, because once you shoot wide, it's just incredible. You don't want to go back to anything else. And the fact that LG, that is still relatively big in the smartphone game, might not be as big as Samsung or Huawei, but it is big. These guys are taking on something that I've been wanting to happen for years, and I feel like it's a step forward, and for that reason alone I'm really excited. Kelsey and I have not been pumped for a smartphone release like this one in years. Pixels are cool, iPhones are cool, Samsungs are cool, but this, considering we're such into our video production and photo production, is just on another level for us. As much as I won't buy one because I don't have enough money for that, it would be really cool to test one out next year. And that's been it from me. I'd really love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and also please do like, dislike and subscribe if you're new around here to never miss a video like this one. I want to thank my patrons for your amazing support, and some more behind the scenes has been uploaded to that if you've missed that. Also please do follow my social because it really does help me out. My name is Ryan Thomas again with Failtech, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.